Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Okay, is it my voice and video is clear? Is it my voice and video is clear? Okay, right. In our previous class, we discussed the process of pole and piston interaction. In this, what is a pole and piston interaction? The pole and piston interaction is a dynamic process. In this, whenever pollen grains are transferred on stigma of gynoecium, the pollen grains interact with the stigmatic surface, then it enters into stigmatic surface by developing pollen tube. So before that, there is an interaction in between pollen grain and pistil. Okay. So the topic is a pollen pistil interaction. Previously we completed pollination mechanism with the help of various agents. Either it is a biotic agent or abiotic agent. Pollen grains are deposited on stigma of gynoecium. And after depositing pollen grains on stigma, the stigma it recognizes the pollen grain, either it is a right type or wrong type. Yes, ma'am. Just I started the class. Follow this one. After depositing pollen grains on stigma, there is an interaction in between stigmatic surface and pollen grain, and it is a process called pollen pistil interaction. In sexual reproduction, pollen pistil interaction is a dynamic process. In this, the stigma, after receiving pollen grains, first it recognizes the pollen grain, either it is right type or wrong type, or compatible pollen or incompatible pollen. Yesterday I told that. What is the meaning of right type or compatible pollen grain? Very simple. If the pollen grain came from flower, belongs to same species, we can call it is as compatible pollen or right type. Whenever after pollination, if other species pollen grains fall on stigma, that pollen grains never germinate. Such pollen grains are called as wrong type or incompatible pollen grain. So after depositing pollen grain on stigma, some of the chemical components present around the pollen grain, these chemical components, it is okay, the pollen grains are deposited on stigma. The chemical components present around the pollen grain, it interacts with the stigmatic surface. If it recognizes the pollen grain as right type, immediately it promotes its germination. By secreting some food substances, it promotes its germination. When the pollen grains are identified as wrong type or incompatible pollen, immediately it rejects the pollen germination. Whenever the pollen grain is right type, it allows pollen germination. Whenever it is a wrong type, it rejects pollen germination, and it is a dynamic process mediated by chemical components present around the pollen grain. And pollen pistil interaction, it is defined as all events in between pollen deposition to entry of pollen tube into ovule. All the events are called as pollen pistil interaction. With the help of chemicals present around pollen grain, the stigma, it recognizes the pollen grain, either it is a right type or wrong type. At this time, all events, all events present in between, all events present in between pollen deposition on stigma 2, up to entry of pollen tube, into ovule. So all these events are called as pollen pistil interaction. In majority of angiosperms, already I told that nearly 60% of angiosperms, how pollen grains reach stigma? How pollen grains reach stigma? In 60% of angiosperms, pollen grains reach the stigma with two-celled stage, and remaining 40% of angiosperms, pollen grain reach the stigma with three-celled stage. Okay, so in 60% of angiosperms, pollen reach stigma with two-celled stage. Whenever it reaches with a two-celled stage, already you know that. Whenever it reaches the stigma with a two-celled stage, further development take place on stigma. So further development occur on stigma. So what is the further development? Already the two-celled pollen grain consists of two cells. What are the two cells? In this, one is called a vegetative cell and is also useful for the formation of a pollen tube, so that it is called a tube cell. And the second one is generative cell, and this generative cell, it is the main cell, and further it undergo one more mitosis on stigma, and it becomes into two male gametes. They becomes into two male gametes. Now totally one vegetative cell and two male gametes are developed in pollen grain. And if the pollen grain in remaining 40% of angiosperms, pollen reach the stigma, with a three-celled stage. What is the three-celled stage pollen grain? In this three-celled stage, already the generative cell becomes into male gamete, and the three-celled pollen grain consists of one vegetative cell and two male gametes. If it reaches the stigma with a three-celled stage, there is no further development. If directly it reaches the stigma with a three-celled stage, there is no further development. If it reaches with a two-celled stage, then only the further development take place on stigma and pollen grain. For example, you know very well about pollen grain structure. It is a pollen grain, and the pollen grain having exine. It is a thick layer. At a few locations, the exine is absent, and these areas are called as germpores. These are called as germpores. And the pollen grain already consists of one vegetative cell and two male gametes. And with the help of any one of the germpore, pollen grain it germinate. And produce a tube-like structure. And this tube-like structure is called as pollen tube. It is the structure called a pollen tube. Here it is I have written two times with two male gametes. Remember, it is the first case In first case, if when the pollen grains fall on stigma with two-celled stays, further the generator cell divide on stigma, then it produces two male gametes. It is the first case. It is the second case, case 2. Sometimes in 40% of angiosperms, pollen grain reach directly with the three-celled stays. And in the three-celled pollen grain, it having vegetative cell and two male gametes. Okay, do you understand this one? At this time, there is no further development. Why? Already two male gametes are there. Okay, try to understand. These are the first chance, it is the second chance. It occur in 60% of angiosperms. It occur in 40% of angiosperms. That's why I've written 2 times. Okay, right. So with the help of germopore, pollen tube formation, pollen tube formation occur with the help of germopore. Formation occur with the help of pollen tube, with the help of a germopore, with the help of germopore, right? Whenever pollen tube is formed, vegetative cell, two male gametes, all cytoplasmic content of pollen grain, it enters into pollen tube, and these pollen tube it grow through the style. The pollen tube it grow through the style and it move towards the ovule, and this pollen tube it ready to enters into ovule. At this time, if the 3 cells present in pollen tube, in this vegetative cell it will degenerate. At the tip of the pollen tube, it consists of only 2 male gametes. Remember, this point is very important. When the pollen grain germinate on stigma, it produces pollen tube. This pollen tube, it move towards the ovule through the tissue of style, and it reach near to ovule, and it ready to enter into ovule. At this time, the vegetative cell, it degenerates, and the pollen tube, it consists of only 2 male gametes, and this pollen tube, it enters into ovule through one of the part. What is that? Micropyle. Through one of the process, through one of the structure, it is called micropyle. So why pollen tube enters into ovule through micropyle? Because already you know that the cyanogytes present in embryo sac, they have some finger-like structures. These finger-like structures are called as filiform apparatus. And what is the function of this filiform apparatus? The filiform apparatus which are present in cyanogyte, it helps to guide pollen tube. And whenever it guides pollen tube, immediately the pollen tube, it enters into micropyle only, because near to micropyle, it consists of egg cell. Okay, it consists of egg cell, right? So in this way, the pollen tube entry always take place into ovule through micropyle. It is called porogamy. It is called porogamy, and up to pollen deposition to entry of pollen tube into ovule is called pollen pistil interaction. Okay, once again I'm repeating. The topic title is pollen pistil interaction. The pollen pistil interaction is a dynamic process in sexual reproduction. Why? Because after depositing pollen grain on stigma, first stigma, it recognizes the pollen grain, either it is right type or compatible, or wrong type or incompatible. Whenever the stigma, it recognizes the pollen grain, it is the right type, belongs to same species, it promotes its germination. Whenever stigma, it recognizes the pollen grain is a wrong type, it rejects its germination, and it is a dynamic process mediated by It is a dynamic process mediated by chemical components present around the pollen grain. Whenever the pollen grain is the right type, immediately the pollen grain germinates with the help of a minute gap. It is called germopore. Okay, so whenever it germinates through germopore, it produces. Okay, ma. I will write big letters. Okay, no problem. So just after this, I will write with the big letters. And through these germopore, pollen tube formation take place, and pollen tube, it carries male gamete and two. And the pollen tube, it carries male gametes and vegetative cell. That is the process called pollen germination. And after this, the pollen tube, it enters into stigma and move through the style and reach the ovule, enter into ovule through micropyle. It is called porogamy. Entry of pollen tube into ovule through micropyle is called porogamy. In this, the synergids consist of filiform apparatus, and these filiform apparatus, it guide pollen tube entry into ovule through micropyle only. And one more important process, in 60% of angiosperms, the pollen grains deposited on stigma. Pollen grain reach the stigma with a two-celled stage. Whenever it reach with a two-celled stage, further development take place on stigma. At this time, the vegetative cell, it divide by mitosis and form two male gametes. But in some angiosperms, nearly 40% of angiosperms, if pollen grain reach the stigma with a three-celled stage directly, consist of one vegetative cell and two male gametes, there is no further development. So finally, the cytoplasmic content along with the vegetative cell and the two male gametes enter into pollen tube. During this growth, the vegetative cell, it will degenerate in pollen grain, and the two male gametes are present at the tip of the pollen tube. That is the process of pollen pistil interaction. Okay, do you understand this one? It is the processor. Basaraj, you can ask your doubt at the last month. You can ask your doubt last 5 minutes. Okay, na? Right. So that is about the pollen pistil interaction. Okay, can I move to next topic? Can I move to next topic? Okay, do you understand this one? Right. So after this, the process of pollen germination, how it occurred. So already I told that the pollen grain, it consists of minute area. With the help of minute areas, in this sporopollenin is absent, is called germopore. Okay, so pollen grain in its structure, it consists of a minute thin area. It is called germopore. In this germopore, the sporopollenin is absent. In this area, the sporopollenin is absent. In this, for example, I will explain how vegetative cell helps in pollen tube formation. But it is a pollen grain. The pollen grain is surrounded by intine. It is surrounded by intine, and outside of this intine, it consists of thick exine. It consists of a thick exine, and inside it having, it is called exine, and it is a thin area called a germopore. In this, it consists of one vegetative cell. It consists of one vegetative cell along with two male gametes. Two male gametes. Whenever the pollen grain is ready to germinate, at this time where germopore is there in this vegetative cell, it is the vegetative cell. Vegetative cell create pressure on intine, and due to that pressure, intine it came to outside in the form of a long tube. Now it is called pollen tube. Right? The vegetative cell it create a pressure on intine. Due to that pressure, intine itself it came to outside of pollen grain. It inside intine itself it came to outside of the pollen grain through germopore in the form of a tube-like structure. It is called pollen tube. It is called as a pollen tube. Now, after pollen tube formation, the cytoplasmic content along with the vegetative cell and male gametes enters into pollen tube. They enters into pollen tube. It is the process called pollen germination. And this pollen germination, it is artificially also can be observed with the help of an experiment. And this experiment can be done easily in laboratory. So now the artificial pollen germination. Artificial pollen germination. The germination of pollen grain, it can artificially observed in laboratory. How? Very simple. We should collect pollen grains from anther of different flowers, like some plants we have to take here. One is the chickpea plant, blossom, vinca plant. But these are the plant names. Chickpea, blossom, vinca, and crotalaria. Crotalaria. These are some examples, just some example plant names. From this plant, the flower having stamens like this. Stamens are there. When you rupture, by rupturing anther, the anther is ruptured. After rupturing anther, pollen grains will be removed to outside, and these pollen grains are taken on a glass slide. The pollen grains are taken on a glass slide. It is a glass slide. It is a glass slide. So due to whenever we collect the pollen grains from anther and transferred on glass slide, these pollen grains need food substances for germination. For this, whenever we drop a few drops of 10% sugar solution or sucrose solution, the 10% sugar or sucrose solution is transferred on pollen grains present on glass slide. Now, this 10% sucrose solution, it provide or act as a medium, and after 15 to 13 minutes, we can observe the germination of pollen grain. So pollen grain, it germinate and produces pollen tube that can easily viewed, that can easily observed under microscope. It is the process to observe the germination of pollen grains. Okay, do you understand this one? What is the process of pollen germination? How it occur? Pollen germination occur on stigma. At this time, the vegetative cell create pressure on intine. So which cell? Vegetative cell create pressure on intine. Whenever the pressure is created on intine can form pollen tube. So intine can form pollen tube. Intine can form pollen tube. Whenever pollen tube is formed, immediately, and now remember, the vegetative cell, by creating pressure, it can form pollen tube. That's why vegetative cell is also called as tube cell. And after formation of pollen tube, cytoplasmic content. So cytoplasmic content along with vegetative cell and male gametes enters into pollen tube. At this time, vegetative cell, during the growth of pollen tube, vegetative cell degenerates, and male gametes, two male gametes are there. Male gametes present at the tip of the pollen tube. It present at the tip of the pollen tube. It is the process of pollen germination. That pollen germination can be observed artificially. Artificial pollen germination can be take place in laboratory by taking some flowers like chickpea, blossom, and by taking chickpea, blossom, vinca, crotalaria flowers. The flowers are taken. In this, first stamen is removed from the flower. By rupturing the stamen, especially anther, we can collect the pollen grain on slide. So pollen grains are taken on glass slide. By providing 10% sugar or sucrose solution to this pollen grain, and in the presence of sugar substances, the pollen grains, it will germinate after 15 to 30 minutes by the formation of pollen tube. It is the process called pollen germination. It is the process called pollen germination, and this pollen germination, it can easily observe in laboratory by conducting this experiment. Okay, Nama? It is the process of pollen germination, right? Finally, pollen tube enter into ovule at micropyle region, and after this, the micropyle, near to micropyle, egg cell is there. It fertilize with that, the process of fertilization take place. Okay, so after this we have one more important topic. We'll discuss the topic, and after that we'll discuss how the process of fertilization take place. Okay, do you understand this one? Can I move to the next topic? Can I move to next topic? Okay, right. Okay, so that is about the process of pollen germination and artificial pollen germination experiment in laboratory. Now, after this, the knowledge on pollen pistil interaction, it is useful to the plant breeder in artificial hybridization experiment. It's very, very important thing here. Generally, in market, we have many hybrid varieties nowadays. There are many hybrid plant varieties, but these hybrid plant varieties are developed with the help of artificial hybridization. So remember, nowadays we have many hybrid varieties, and these hybrid plants are develop with the help of a process. It is called plant breeding. In this plant breeding, one of the method called artificial hybridization. It is useful for the formation of hybrid plants. So plant breeding is a technique. It produce plant breeding is a technique. It produce hybrid plant varieties by it produce a hybrid plant varieties by a process. It is called artificial hybridization. So plant breeding is a technique. In this, it produces hybrid plant varieties by a process. It is called artificial hybridization. Artificial hybridization means artificially we conduct a pollination and we can develop new plant varieties with the selected plant varieties. In this, artificial hybridization is a process. In this process, we can develop hybrid plants. How we can develop hybrid plants? The hybrid plants are developed by conducting a cross in between two selected plant varieties. Okay, so plant hybridization is conducted in between two selected plant varieties. For example, the hybrid plant is developed by taking two plants. For example, plant A, plant B. It is the plant A, just imagine it is the plant A. So this plant A have a nature to give more yield. For example, it is give more yield. It's a plant A. And one more plant is there, same species. One more plant, same species is there. It is the plant have disease resistance nature. This plant have disease resistance nature. Now we want to combine both characters. Now we want to combine both character in one new hybrid plant. Okay, just Virat, just we take one example, how we can conduct artificial hybridization. It is a plant A. The plant A having which character? High yield character. High yield. It can give more yield, but not resistant to diseases. But this plant have a disease resistance. So now we want to combine both characters in one plant. At this time, we can conduct artificial hybridization. It is a plant, this plant having a flower, and in this plant, stamens are present, pistil also present. Pistil also present, and it is a plant. Both plants having bisexual flowers. For example, these two plants are selected as parents. In these two plants, it is the first plant having flowers. In these flowers, the flower having, it is the stamen. It is the stamen. It is the pistil. It is a bisexual flower. And the second plant also having bisexual flowers. It also having bisexual flowers. It also having bisexual flower, and stamen, pistil are present. So these two plants are there. Now we want to conduct a cross in between these two plants. The two plants we should conduct a cross in between. We can conduct a cross in between these two plants to get a new hybrid variety. That hybrid variety have both parent characters like high yield nature, disease resistance nature. At this time, the process of artificial hybridization, it is conducted with 4 steps. In this, the first step is emasculation. The first step is emasculation. Second step is bagging. Third step is artificial pollination. And the fourth step is rebagging. So the process of artificial hybridization, it is conducted with 4 steps. In this, what is the first step? Emasculation. Second step is bagging. Third step is artificial hybridization or artificial pollination. And fourth step is rebagging. 1 minute, I will write. So, okay, emasculation is the first step, and the second step is bagging. The third step is artificial pollination, and the fourth step is rebagging. So now let us observe how these 4 steps take place. And first step, emasculation. Now remember, it is a bisexual flower. It is a bisexual flower. Both flowers are selected as a parents. But in this, we can collect pollen grains from one plant, and the pollen grains are transferred on another plant stigma artificially. At this time, from which plant we collect pollen grain? From which plant we collect a pollen grain? That plant is considered as it is a male flower. It is a male flower. We can consider it as a male parent. And where we transfer the pollen grains on stigma, it is the plant considered as a female parent. One plant is considered as a male parent, one plant is considered as a female parent. At this time, it is a female parent. In this female parent, the flower having stamens. It is the flower. It is the flower. These flower having stamens, and these stamens are removed from bisexual flower of a female parent at bud condition is referred to as emasculation. So already stamens are there. At the young stage, before opening flower, the stamens which are present in female parent bisexual flower, it is a female parent bisexual flower. Now both stamen and a gynoecium are present. In this, we don't need stamens. In female parent, it is a female parent flower. In this female parent flower, there is no need of stamens. Why? We are going to transfer the pollen grains of a plant A to plant B, from male parent to female parent. So there is no need of stamens, and these stamens are removed at bud condition. The stamens are removed at bud condition and is a process called emasculation. So the first step, emasculation, emasculation means removal of stamens from bisexual flower. From bisexual flower of which parent? Female parent. Female parent at bud condition before opening flower at bud condition. Now it is referred to as emasculation. What is emasculation? It's very important definition for 1 mark. Emasculation is a process in this removal of stamens. Both are same species. A plant, B plant, both are same species. Now we selected 2 characters. That 2 characters are trying to combine. Okay. So what is emasculation? Removal of stamens from bisexual flower of which parent? female parent at bud condition before opening flower is referred to as emasculation. Now, after emasculation, there is no chance to fall pollen grains of same flower. There is no chance to self-pollination. Why? We removed stamens. We removed stamens so that there is no chance of self-pollination. There is no chance of self-pollination. It is called emasculation. And one more important thing, in case if you select the plant which have unisexual flowers, for female flowers, no need to perform emasculation. Why? Already stamens are absent in female flower. So in unisexual female flower, in unisexual female flower, no need of emasculation. Why there is no need of emasculation? Why there is no need of emasculation? Already stamens are absent, no need to remove. Okay, so it's very important thing. In which flower there is no need of emasculation? In unisexual female flowers, there is no need of emasculation. It is called emasculation, first step. And after that, in this flower we remove stamens. There is no chance to receive pollen grains of same flower, but there is a chance to receive pollen grains of other flower, and stigma get contaminated by receiving unwanted pollen grain. Once again, after emasculation, there is no chance to receive pollen grains of same flower, but when flower is open, at this time there is a chance of receiving other flower pollen grains that become contamination due to receiving of unwanted pollen. So that after emasculation we can perform bagging. So bagging is very simple. The emasculated flower is covered with a polythene bag. Emasculated flower is covered with a polythene bag made up of a butter paper. Polythene bag. The emasculated flower is covered with a polythene bag. Generally, it is made up of butter paper. Whenever the flower, emasculated flower is covered, there is no chance to receive other flower pollen grain. It is called a bagging. What is bagging? Emasculated flower is covered with a polythene bag. Generally, it is made up of a butter paper. It is called bagging. So after bagging, there is no chance to receive other flower pollen grains. And whenever the stigma, it is matured, that means whenever stigma, it becomes receptive, immediately by removing that bag, we can collect the pollen grains from plant A and we can transfer pollen grains, these pollen grains to stigma of plant B is called artificial pollination. So we can transfer pollen grains of plant A on stigma of plant B artificially. That is the process called artificial pollination. And after artificial pollination, again this pollinated flower is covered with the same polythene bag, and after transferring these pollen grains on stigma, it promotes the germination of pollen grain. And I will write definitions for every term later. First you understand. Artificial pollination is completed. Again we cover the pollinated flower with the same bag. Pollen grains are germinated. Fertilization takes place. Ovary becomes into fruit. Ovule becomes into seed. And now the seeds are collected. When you put the seeds in soil, the seed will germinate and produce a new plant. That new plant have both parent characters. Both parent characters are there. Now it is called hybrid plant. Okay. Okay, do you understand this one? So what is the emasculation? Removal of stamens from bisexual flower of female parent at bud condition, and there is no need of emasculation for unisexual female flowers. Okay, is it completed? Next, after emasculation, there is no chance to receive pollen grains from same flower, but there is a chance to receive pollen grains from other flower, so that this emasculated flower, it is covered with a polythene bag, and this polythene bag, it is made up of butter paper. That is the process called bagging. The bagging can prevent falling of unwanted pollen grains. So unwanted pollen grains never fall on stigma because it is covered with the polythene bag. And after that, when the stigma it become receptive, when stigma become mature, that immediately we can transfer the pollen grains of plant A to stigma of plant B, and again we can cover. That is called artificial pollination. After artificial pollination, we can cover the pollinated flower with the same bag. It is called rebagging. After rebagging, pollen grains which are present on stigma, it germinate and produce a pollen tube. Fertilization take place, and it form fruits, seeds. The seeds, whenever it germinated and produces new plant, that the new plant having both parent character, it is called a hybrid plant. Okay. For removal of stamens, stamens only removed. Only stamens removed. There is no removal of pistil. If a pistil is removed, there is no fertilization. So we remove stamens by emasculation to prevent falling of same flower pollen grain on stigma. We perform bagging to prevent the falling of other flower pollen grains on stigma. Artificial pollination take place. Again, we conduct rebagging. Okay, I will write the definition on both. Okay, is it completed? Once again, I will write all definitions on both. Okay, can I rough this one? Do you understand the process of artificial hybridization? Right. So the process of artificial hybridization, it is useful to produce hybrid plants by conducting a cross in between two selected plants. So what is the importance of artificial hybridization? So knowledge on pollen pistil interaction, it is useful to perform artificial hybridization. So due to this artificial hybridization, there is a chance to produce hybrid varieties. Just we discussed. So the process of artificial hybridization conducted with 4 steps, and these 4 steps are due to knowledge on plant pollen pistil interaction. So pollen pistil interaction, knowledge helpful in plant breeding program. So artificial hybridization helps to produce hybrid plant varieties. The process conducted with 4 steps. What is the first step? Emasculation. What is emasculation? removal of stamens from bisexual flower of female parent at bud condition. Whenever the flower present in bud condition, at this bud condition, we can perform this process to prevent, to avoid, to prevent self-pollination. To prevent self-pollination, it is the first step. Second step, bagging. What is bagging? After emasculation, emasculated flower is covered with a polythene bag. Polythene bag made up of butter paper, to prevent cross pollination, cross pollination is called bagging. And the third step is artificial pollination. What is artificial pollination? When the stigma of female flower, that means female parent, it become receptive. Receptive means mature. When stigma of female parent become receptive, the pollen or transfer on stigma. It is called artificial cross pollination or artificial pollination. And the last step is rebagging. So pollinated flower is covered with same bag to avoid cross pollination. Again, some pollen grains may be fall on stigma. To avoid that cross pollination, we perform rebagging. So these are the definitions for each and every step in artificial hybridization. With this artificial hybridization, there is a chance to produce hybrid plants. But remember, when we perform artificial pollination, the deposited pollen grains on stigma, it will germinate and fertilization take place. After this fertilization, there is a chance to produce fruits, seeds, and the seed, when it is germinated to produce a new plant, that plant having both parental character, it is called a hybrid variety. Okay, so last points are there. I will write here. I will rub the first 2 points and write here. Okay, so the next point is the pollen grains which are deposited on stigma. So the pollen grain which are deposited, the pollen grains which are deposited on stigma will germinate will germinate to perform fertilization that leads to formation of that leads to the formation of fruit and seeds. Seeds germinates. Seeds will germinate to form new plant. If it have both parental character, it is called hybrid plant. If it having both parental characters, now it is called hybrid plant. It is the process of hybrid plant production, and these hybrid plant production, it is possible due to knowledge of pollen pistil interaction. Okay, that is about artificial hybridization, and this artificial hybridization is possible because of knowledge on pollen pistil interaction. Okay, so that is about artificial hybridization. So it is the artificial process conducted by us. Okay, do you understand this one? So up to here we stop, and in next class we continue with fertilization process, embryo development, endosperm development, and remaining concept. Now from this topic, if you have any doubts, now you can ask. Now you can ask if you have any doubts. Now, whenever stigma, it is receptive, when it is matured, that can secrete some chemical substances to receive pollen grains. Okay. Now for pollen darshan, for pollen tube formation, there is no need of any divisions. Just a vegetative cell create pressure on germ pore. With that pressure, pollen tube formation take place. There is no need of division. Darshan, okay now? Now butter paper, why we need only butter paper? Because the flower needs some gases. Butter paper can allow gases. When you cover with all plastic cover, it never allow gases. Butter paper can allow gases. But there is no role of vegetative cell in fertilization. The vegetative cell can produce pollen tube. After that, there is no role in fertilization, so that vegetative cell will degenerate. Okay. Okay. Any more doubts? Yes, male parental plant, it is bisexual. That's why we remove stamens at bud condition. When stamens we remove at bud condition, there is no chance to self-pollination. That is the main intention of emasculation. By Ashok, in 60% of angiosperms, pollen grain reach the stigma with 2 cell stage. In 40% of angiosperms, with 3 cell stages. Okay. A vegetative cell have a role, Pooja. Vegetative cell have a role to produce pollen tube only. There is no role in fertilization. Right? Any more doubts? Any more doubts? Pushpavati, depending upon our need, we can transfer pollen grains from A to B or B to A also. There is no specific reason. Depending upon our need, we can make transfer. We can transfer pollen grains from A to B or B to A. Okay. Any more doubts? Tejashwini, already I answered your question. Very good. Sucrose solution is used for artificial pollen germination because pollen need food substances. That food substances are provided in the form of a sucrose solution as a medium for pollen germination. Okay. Okay, right. Any more doubts? And read this concept in textbook first, and get that textbook NCERT knowledge, and it is more sufficient for you. So definitely you should read the NCERT textbook every day after completion of class. After fertilization, pollen grain it will degenerate some. Pollen grain it will degenerate. Exine not degenerate because the strongest material. Okay, now. So up to here we completed, and tomorrow we'll continue with fertilization process, endosperm development, embryo development, remaining concepts. Okay. So hope you understand the concept. Thank you.